It's been a while since I've done a tutorial, but I got some requests for a tutorial of 1994 by Cavetown on the cover that I posted a while ago. So I figured I would do that for you today. So if you want to check out my cover, I'll put a link to it on the video. I will start by saying that in my cover, I have a capo on the 3rd fret of my ukulele because vocally this song is a little low for me. So I will be explaining the chords in the way that I play them, which means that when I show you a chord, it's going to be in a different key than what I actually play in my cover. But I think that's probably the simplest way. And then if you have a capo, this is technically a banjo capo that I got, but it's the perfect size for a ukulele, then you can move it to wherever fits for you vocally and still play the same chords that I'm going to teach you. So first I'm going to go over what chords you need for the song, and then I'll explain how to actually form those chords on the ukulele. I will then go over the plucky instrumental part that plays after the chorus throughout the song, and then I will go section by section of the song to explain what chords are used, in the verse and the chorus and the outro, and explain the strumming techniques that I used in my cover in order to kind of give the song some momentum and build so it wasn't just the same the entire time. Cool. Okay, so the chords that you need are, and I'll put them up on the screen, G, D, B minor, C, and E minor. So if you already know how to play all of these chords, feel free to jump ahead. If you aren't familiar with all of these chords, I will show you how to play them right now. So G, pretty common one. We're going to be starting on the 2nd fret, and we'll be using, so I count my strings as 1, 2, 3, 4 from the top to the bottom. I think some people do it the other way, but this is just what makes sense to me. So we're going to start with our pointer finger on the 2nd string, 2nd fret, like so. And then your middle finger is going to go on the 4th string, 2nd fret. So I've had it explained as these are bunny ears, and they go on the 2nd and 4th string, and then your index finger is going to go on the 3rd fret, 3rd string, and that is a G chord. Next is a D. D is pretty easy. We're all on the 2nd fret, just 1, 2, 3. Top 3 strings, 2nd fret, D. For B minor, we are going to bar the 2nd fret, and then I like to use my pinky. You could also use your index finger if you wanted to, but we are going to go to the 4th fret, top string, right there. Sometimes you really have to put pressure. I like to use 2 fingers for a bar, so I bar with my pointer finger and then use my middle finger to kind of secure it a bit more. If you aren't comfortable with bars, I think you could use your fingers. I think I would go pointer finger, middle finger, index finger, and then pinky. It's a little crowded for me, but if you aren't able to do the bars, that is something that you could do instead. So that's B minor. C, favorite chord, is just the 3rd fret bottom string, and that's it. Easy peasy. And then E minor. So E minor, we are going to start on the 2nd fret bottom string, and then we are going to just kind of walk upstairs. So we're going to do the 3rd fret, 3rd string, and 4th fret, 2nd string. So it's just 1, 2, 3. Sounds like that. And those are the chords that you need for the song. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the little instrumental part that comes after the chorus. And I messed around and found one way to play it, was having a lot of trouble, and decided to see if I could find another way. So there are actually 2 ways that you could play this. If the way that didn't work for me might work better for you, I will explain both. So one of the ways that you can do this is all on the second and third strings. This is the first method that I figured out, which was giving me trouble, but it might work better for you, so I will explain it. So we're gonna start on the 7th fret, which is easy to find because it has this nice little dot marker. It's the second dot on your fretboard. My fretboard also has little dots on the top. I don't know if you can see that at all. I promise they're there. And so we're gonna start with that 7th fret, and you want to do your pointer finger on the 3rd string and your middle finger on the 2nd string because of what we're going to be doing later. It'll just make it easier than having to flip your fingers. So you do 2 plucks on that 7th fret, and then we're just going to slide down to the 2nd fret. So now we're both 2nd and 3rd string on the 2nd fret. Right, so we start on the 7th fret, 2nd dot, and then we just do open, go back to that 2nd fret, and then here we're gonna slide over so that our middle finger on the 2nd string is on the 4th fret, and our pointer finger on the 3rd string is on the 2nd fret. So that's why I started with them like this, so that I can just slide really easily to here. And then you have to skip. So we're not going here, we're going here, so that our pointer finger on the 3rd string is on the 5th fret, which is our first dot on the fretboard, and our middle finger on the 2nd string is on the 6th fret. So that is the part that I have trouble with. It's tricky for me, is going from the 2nd fret to this 3rd and 4th fret and then skipping that one. That sometimes catches me up. But that's basically it. So put it all together and you have 7th fret, 2nd fret, open, 2nd fret, 3rd and 4th, 5th and 6th. I'll play through that one more time. Just like that. And then it repeats. Well, actually, I think the whole thing goes, so you end on that 3rd and 4th fret. So that's one way that you can do it. The thing that gave me a lot of trouble was getting all the way up to the 7th fret and then sliding back. It's kind of a long way to go, especially at the tempo that I was playing my cover at. So the alternative that I found is really just for that first finger position. Instead of going all the way up to the 7th fret, you can actually come to the 4th and 3rd strings, and I believe it's the 2nd and 3rd fret. Yeah, it's the same notes. So if you're playing it the second alternative way, which is the way that I play it in my cover, you have your pointer finger on the 4th string 2nd fret, middle finger on the 3rd string 3rd fret, and then you just jump up to that 2nd fret for the 2nd and 3rd strings. And then it's the same as the other method where you go open, 2nd fret again, and then you slide up so that your 3rd string pointer finger is the 3rd fret, 2nd string middle finger is the 4th fret, and then you slide skipping a fret to the 5th for your 3rd string and 6th fret for your 2nd string. And so that one, when you put it all together, is like this. Definitely takes some practice, so if you are having trouble and not picking it up right away, just give yourself time. I had to practice it a lot. And I definitely took a lot of takes when I was recording my cover. So, but that's that. I know a lot of you are probably here for just that bit. There you go. Okay, so next section we're going to talk about is going through the song section by section, what chords you need for each part, and strumming patterns, which I'll just be explaining what I did in my cover, as I mentioned. Okay, so first we have the first verse. And so the chords for the verses, the first and second verse, are G, D, B minor, and C, in that order. So we've got G, D, B minor, and C. Those are the chords. Strumming pattern for the first verse, I did just little eighth note strums. I kind of use my fingernails, my fingertips, so it sounds like this. It's like a quieter strum. It kind of gives space to build later in the song, and it has this just kind of quickness to it, which I felt kind of echoes what is in Cavetown's full recording with the band. That's what I was going for anyway. So you go G, D, B minor, C. And this is eighth notes, whatever your tempo is. It's just 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and each chord. I hope that makes sense. I'm doing all down strums, so it's very fast wrist movement. And then later I switch it up, which I'll explain later. So that strumming pattern would be for that. If I can, we'll see if I can sing it in this key. So it would be, I'm trying to forgive myself for things I didn't do, for words I didn't say, and things I didn't choose. Spending every day decomposing in my room. I'm not okay, but there's nothing I can do. And then that goes into the second verse. So when you get to the second verse, I switched to still eighth notes, so the same 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and, but instead of doing fast little like fingernail strums that are quiet, I switched to down up strum. So it sounds like this. So it's louder. It's got a different feel to it, even though it's the same pattern technically, and it just adds a bit of momentum as we're leading up to the chorus and makes it a little less one note, I suppose, in the strumming pattern. One thing I noticed that I'm doing that I'll add as a little note here is I'm not actually giving the same number of strums to each chord. I'm doing 4 for G, 4 for D, but the B minor, I'm only giving 3, and I'm switching to that C chord just a little early. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think that's just kind of how it sounded to me in the song. I just wanted to mention that if anybody noticed like that it seemed weird that I was doing it like that. So the chords for the second verse are the same as the first, G, D, B minor, C. I'm going to do kind of the lead up to the second verse and then through the second verse. I think that makes more sense. So it's, I'm trying to love the person I was when I was born. Hating on a kid doesn't serve me anymore. Sylvanians making stories on the floor, and my mom and dad in love like it's 1994. So after that second verse, there's like a little like 4-count interlude where the chord switches. Instead of going back to G like it would at the end of that G, D, B minor, C, it would go back to G. Instead of that, we go to E minor. We get our first E minor as a lead up to the chorus, and then C. So it goes that last G, D, B minor, C. And I actually do a different strum here because I like to make things complicated. So for this little E minor C interlude, the strum that I use is down, down, up, down, up. So it sounds like this. And then I go right back to eighth notes. And that leads into the chorus. So to go over that interlude strum one more time, the downstrokes are on the beats and the up strokes are the off beats. So it's like 1, 2, and 1, and, if that is helpful to you. So E minor gets a strum through down, down, up, down, up, and then C gets that same strum, down, down, up, down, up, and then we're back to G with our eighth notes. And then we're into the chorus. I hope that makes sense. The chorus. So our chords for the chorus are a little different, mostly the same, but it's going to be G, D, E minor instead of B minor, E minor, and then C. So we're just switching out our B minor for E minor. And the strumming pattern for the chorus is something. Oh, it's the same as what we just did for the interlude. So that down, 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 up, down, up. Right? So that's what it'll sound like for the chorus. So going from that interlude into the first chorus, your chords are going to be E minor with that strum I just went over, C with that strum I just went over, and then you're doing the verse chords one time through, and then you're going to the chorus. So it sounds like this. And then I don't think that there's anything really tricky about the chorus, especially the first time through, because we just got, say you're coming around, I need you lately, everything's been bringing me down, the kids are grown up, I feel like I'm stuck, and I don't want to catch up right now. And then we go into that plucking part that I taught you earlier. So hopefully you remember. If you are doing it the second way, which is the way that I did it in my video cover, you're just going to start right here on your 3rd and 4th string on the 2nd and 3rd frets. If you like the other way, then you do have to jump over to the 7th fret and get on the 2nd and 3rd string, 7th fret. I'm going to do it this way because I find it easier. So you have your chorus, and then you do the whole... See, it's hard. It's tricky. Don't get down on yourself if you can't get it. I also haven't played this in a while, to be honest. But you just play that one time through like that. And then we are back to another verse, I believe. 3rd verse time. So we are back to 8th notes. We are back to G, D, B minor, C. And there is one little thing that I did differently on the last round of those chords in this chorus. So this is the chorus that goes, I'm trying to get a better sense of what I'm worth because I've been on the fence and in the dirt, taking it easy, but I forgot I had a job and nothing ever stops. And I really like that line, and I wanted to give it a bit more oomph. And so for the forgot I had a job and nothing ever stops, I did some what I call chucking. I think people have different ways of saying this, but it's when you kind of hit the strings in a way where you aren't actually playing the chord. So I'll just play through the verse really quick and then I'll go back and explain more what I'm doing. Pardon my singing because this is, once again, not my key. Let's see. I'm trying to get a better sense of what I'm worth, 'cause I've been on the fence and in the dirt, taking it easy, but I forgot I have a job and nothing ever stops. So, but yeah. So for that last round of chords, I do strum, down, up, chuck, down, up, chuck. And the way that I chuck is I basically just slap my entire like palm or like the meat of my thumb against the strings so that they don't resonate, right? So down, up. I hope that makes sense. I'm kind of brushing my fingernails along it to get that kind of brushy sound, but I'm dampening the strings with my hand because that's how you get it to not actually play the chord. So you go strum, strum, chuck, strum, strum, chuck, strum, strum, chuck, strum, strum, chuck. And then it's directly back into the chorus. So, forgot I have a job and nothing ever stops. So say you're coming around. I need you lately. Everything's been getting me down. So we're on our second time through the chorus, and again, I do something a little bit differently here just to like add emphasis to a point. So we are doing our down, down, up, down, up strum. We're doing our G, D, E minor, and C chords. And when it gets to everything's been getting me down, can't sing that low, I do eighth note down strums on down just to kind of emphasize the moment, and also it's really fun. So it's like this. Say you're coming around. I need you lately. Everything's been getting. Wait, I forget. I keep getting my B minors and my E minors confused. I'm so sorry if I have confused any of you with me getting the chords wrong. Let's reference our notes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Starting over. Say you're coming around. I need you lately. Everything's been getting me down. Yeah, the kids are grown up. I feel like I'm stuck, but I don't wanna catch up right now. So yeah, mostly it's just really fun to do that part. So I highly recommend it. So then we are back to the plucky part. And this is where it's a bit longer. I think it's sort of the bridge of the song instrumentally. And so in the recording, they do it like 8 times. They do it a lot, and it builds up, and they've got all these instruments, and so it sounds amazing. But I only have a ukulele and a limited amount of talent. So I just did it 2 times through in my cover. So that's just this part. Start over. And then just kind of let this fade out dramatically. So then all we have left is the final section, which is kind of like a modified chorus / outro. So we're using the chorus chords. We're using G, D, E minor, and C. And it kind of has this like gentle, almost lullaby-like sound to it. So I'm doing some plucking instead of any sort of strum. So I'm starting on the 4th string. I'm doing 4, 3, 2, 3. That sounded funny. I'm gonna change the chord that I'm using to show you this. So 4, 3, 2, 3. And then you would switch to the next chord. 4, 3, 2, 3. 4, 4, 3, 2, 3, and 4, 3, 2, 3. So all together it sounds like this. Ta-da! And you just do that throughout the rest of the song. I think there might be a moment where the chords aren't following that exact pattern, so I will get to that. But this is our modified final chorus. So we've got say you're Nope, that was weird. Hold on. Say you're coming around. Okay. The chords move a little slower than I remembered them to, so you're actually doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 before you switch. I hope that makes sense. So this is what it sounds like. Say you're coming around. I need you lately. Everything's been getting me down. I broke a glass on the floor. It was the last straw. It's like I woke up on the wrong side of town. Say you're coming around. I need you lately. Everything's been getting me down. I felt so much older than the kids around the corner, but I feel so much younger now. Then here we're going back to E minor. We're not going to start over at G. We're going to go back to E minor. Overtook them all and slowed back down. Blame the child in the daisy crown. So I made a couple mistakes through there. I hope you'll forgive me. But essentially you're doing G, D, E minor, C over and over until you get to that. But I feel so much younger now. Overtook them all and slow back down. Blame the child in the daisy crown. Because for that, you're just doing E minor, C, E minor, C, E minor, C. And then we have our last little bit of the plucky part. So we do a little kind of slow and dramatic. And that's it. That's the whole song. They did a messy tutorial, and I apologize for that. I'm a little out of practice with A, making tutorials, and B, playing this song. But I hope that you were still able to find this helpful. I think it's a really fun song to play. And if any part of this is helpful to you in learning how to play it, then yay, that's great. So I hope that you have fun with it. And, you know, parts of it are tricky, so if you're having a little difficulty picking it up, be patient with yourself, because I do think it is worth taking the time to learn to play it, because it's a great song.